funny thing happened to me a couple days ago when I was following up with a lead who was interested in signing up for one of my coaching offers. And it was funny, it was kind of embarrassing, it was very honest, and it revealed a really cool insight that I'd been ignoring and thought I dealt with years ago. So a bit of context before we get to that point. This guy had been following me for about 6 months. He's a mutual friend, so he's a good friend of a good friend of mine. He is very engaged with my content, keeps up with my stuff, responds to my stories, that type of thing. And before him and I started talking, I made a story about how I was putting together a really cool offer for my clients. And I was wondering if anybody was interested in it. Just a simple hand raiser, like, this is what I'm working on. This is what kind of benefits it's going to be having. This is what kind of problem it solves. So if you're this kind of person, let me know if you're interested. He liked the story, so I reached out. We started talking. The conversation was flowing really well. And he actually told me he was in the market for getting help with his content. He was in the market for looking for more help with his marketing. And I was like, oh, this is perfect. And so the conversation kept going. It was flowing really well. I was telling him about the different offers I had. I was putting together something new and more custom for my one-to-one stuff. But I also have a mid-ticket offer that I'm doing with a business partner. It's going really well. We're getting a lot of great results. And I thought, regardless of what he thinks, I think for sure he'd sign up for the mid-ticket. And he was really engaged, sending me voice notes back and forth. And then he just stopped responding. And for some reason, I got in my head and didn't follow up with him as urgently as I know I could have. I waited about a week before I messaged him back, and I got in my head about it. And before I kind of go into my thought process as to why I didn't follow up with him, I'll just get right to the point of what happened. When I followed up with him and asked him what he thought, he sends me a voice note back and he goes, dude, I'm sorry, I fucked up. I made a rash decision. I feel really bad. And so, which I was like, what did you do? Like, you can't, you couldn't have done anything that bad to feel really guilty. And he goes, well, I was really in the heat of the moment talking to this other guy who does content, and I signed up for his program, and I know he's not as good as you. I don't trust him as much as I trust you. I don't think his results are as good as you, but I made a rash decision in the heat of the moment, and I signed up for his program. And so, like, I'm sorry, man. And for a second, I was kind of like sitting there looking at my phone thinking, and I'm like, number one, like, he doesn't have to apologize to me. He doesn't owe me anything. You know what I mean? But two, how he described the situation, a guy who's not as good as you, a guy who I don't trust as much as you, and I'm kind of in my head about what it's going to look like and how it's going to work, and yet I signed up for it anyways because I was looking for help, and he was there. He was available. He made the conversation. He made the move. And so it's embarrassing in the sense that, like, I had the guy who was interested, but for whatever reason, in my head, there was a small belief of, like, is he even going to pay me that much money? Is he going to see the value in what I do? Is what I do valuable? And so that was embarrassing because it's like, I had the deal right there. He was literally told me he was ready to go, and I just didn't ask. It's funny because, like, you won't ever get, no, I shouldn't say won't ever because clearly I got it. It's very rare when somebody gives you that level of honesty. Usually people just ghost you, never hear from them again. And so it was very honest and I really appreciated it. The lesson from all this that I would love to impart to you is it doesn't serve anybody when you play small. It doesn't serve anybody in any positive way when you diminish your light, when you diminish your skills, when you diminish your abilities and shrink down hoping that people won't see you. This was proven in the lead that told me about this program he signed up for. He said, I think you're better. I think you have better proof. I trust you more. And I went with somebody else because I wasn't willing to show up for myself and follow up when I knew it was appropriate to. And I wasn't willing to show up for this person who I'm trying to help. I wasn't willing to show up and actually put myself on the line and tell him, like, hey, I can help you, in which I can because I have the case studies. I have the experience. I know this stuff like the back of my hand. He's a health and wellness coach. Like that's my bread and butter. And I got in my head and I didn't want to push. I didn't want to seem pushy. I didn't want to seem too salesy. And I kind of thought in my head, like, I hope that this guy doesn't think I'm weird. He doesn't think I'm an asshole. And I hope he doesn't say anything negative to my friend who he's friends with. And I hope it doesn't fuck up any of my friendships. And so without realizing it in the moment, walking back my logic in that week of space from when I didn't message him, I could see all these limiting beliefs and frankly, limiting decisions I made. Nobody forced me to not message this guy. Nobody forced me to believe all these things about what could possibly happen in a negative sense of him maybe not liking me responding or following up or him not signing up for the program. I chose to believe all those things myself. That was my meaning making process. And I have to take accountability for that. So in one way, it's very enlightening because it shows me that I have the power to change my situation. I have accountability and I have ownership. If I take accountability and if I take ownership, I'm the one who drives the ship. I'm the one who, determines the results. As long as I stay in an empowered state, which is taking ownership and taking accountability, staying in the cause rather than the effect. And yeah, I want to share this message with you guys because I see so many coaches like myself. I see so many entrepreneurs make the same mistake. They're not willing to take up space. They're not willing to say what they really think. They're not willing to put themselves on the line and believe in what they do, even if they have the case studies. That's one of the things, like, I firmly reject the notion. A lot of influencers, especially in the business space, especially in the content space, the info space, people say that confidence comes from competence. You must give yourself proof before you can believe that you can do the thing. And to me, that's not what confidence is. Confidence isn't about trying to lie to yourself or trying to will yourself to victory without having any proven track record. Confidence to me is believing you can figure it out and having your own back. So confidence to me comes from an internal decision. I'm choosing to be confident. I'm choosing to believe I can do this. I'm choosing to believe that there is a path for me to achieve what I want to achieve. Because even if the gap is, I don't know, you can always learn. If the gap is, I haven't done it, you can always do it. There are a lot of people I've seen who have great track records, who have a lot of proof, who have a lot of testimonials, and they still play small and they still don't feel confident. And that's because confidence is an inside job and it's a decision. If you don't decide to be confident, if you don't decide to believe that you can succeed and you can win, well, you're choosing another option, which probably isn't as helpful to getting to your goals. If you don't believe that you can figure it out, even if you're a complete rookie and you show up and you're present and you have your own back and you're open to learning and you're open to growing and you're open to feedback and you want to get better, that's confidence. If you show up and you're like, oh, well, I need proof. And then when you get proof, you're like, oh, it's not enough. I need more proof. I've seen a lot of clients, a lot of people do that, especially my clients that I've worked with in the past. I've seen a lot of business owners make that mistake. I've seen a lot of people just cling to this idea that more proof, more testimonials, more evidence will make me worthy. You get to decide if you're worthy or not anybody else. And when you do, and when you're aware of that, when you're conscious of that, and you can see the patterns playing out in real time, then you can follow up with the lead because you're excited to work with him. Because you're excited to help him. You're excited to make a meaningful difference in his life. Not because you think you're being some pushy salesman and you don't worry about whether or not they'll see it that way. Anyways, that's today's video. I really appreciate you guys sticking around. If you're interested in the coaching offer that I have, it's called Coherent Creators. The offer is helping you get your next 1 million views, your next 10K, and building the sustainable business systems to make growth predictable in 90 days. If you want to check that out, there'll be a link in the description below to see all the details. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Peace.